It finally happened. It finally happened. It finally happened. One Piece chapter 1026. It's always interesting looking at the title of the chapter and see how it corresponds with what actually happened. And in this chapter, I had to think about it. What was the turning point? Then it came to me. I now know what the turning point was. I think it's you subscribing to this channel, right? Dropping a like, turning on post notifications. That is the turning point for this video. And now you've done that, we can actually focus on One Piece chapter 1026 because it was a doozy. We're going to be talking about this moment for years to come. I think even till the end of One Piece, post One Piece, this moment is cemented. It's forever. We have Luffy. Okay, all right, I'm jumping ahead a bit. Let's go back. The chapter starts off with flower capital stuff, and it's with Hitetsu Otoko. Otama was obviously with them, but then she left to help. So it's giving us a flashback of how Otama got from where she was in the capital to where she actually aided Nami and Usopp, and she changed the tide of the war. I thought this was perfect. A perfect way to start out this chapter because Otama was the turning point of the war, and this chapter is called Turning Point. So we're going to start this chapter with the actual turning point of the war, and now here's another one. We're going into another turning point. So I think that's a very unique and interesting parallel there. I really like that. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again here. Hitetsu, in my opinion, is obviously Sukiyaki. We have a few reasons as to why that's the case. One is the Kakeshi dolls that Hitetsu had and Sukiyaki had. Another reason is in the anime, Sukiyaki and Hitetsu had the same voice actor. And recently, I believe in the River Card, Hitetsu's age came out at like 50 something. And obviously, if he was 50 something, he couldn't be Oden's dad because Oden would be, older than 50 right now or around that age. They changed his age. They say he's actually 80 something. So then at that point, yeah, he can be Oden's dad. So a lot of us do feel like Hitetsu is Sukiyaki, but it's nothing that's a proven fact. We gotta wait and see. But I mean, it's almost staring you right in the face. For him, it must be a very difficult thing if it is Sukiyaki, because you had to go into hiding. People thought you died, and now it is a turning point, right? Where you're hoping that you could get your country back, but you don't want to get your hopes too high because that's what happens at the festival. People just go crazy, get their hopes high, then the next day they're back into poverty. For Hitetsu, or if he is Sukiyaki, you got to stay grounded. You can't get too happy, you can't get too low. And just to look on Hitetsu's face, you can see the concern, of course, for Otama, but it feels a bit deeper. Hopefully we get some more exposition on that because I think that dynamic is intriguing. So he talked about Yamato being on the roof and her being injured, but I don't think it's giving Yamato enough credit based on what she accomplished. I mean, as the chapter goes on, it does. Man, she was instrumental. The chapter was more so enamored, or is trying to guide you to Momonosuke and Kaido. Like, that's what the chapter wanted you to see. And think back to last chapter where Kaido had no reason to transform into his Zoan form, and he did anyway, right? Just to do it. And so Kaido's in his Zoan form, got hit by Luffy, and now he's just fighting with Momonosuke. Well, Luffy's telling Momonosuke to bite him. All right, let's rewind a bit. While the people on the ground were trying to figure out exactly what Yamato was or what Momonosuke was, they then start to talk about Yamato, saying, well, Yamato has been holding off Kaido by herself, and they didn't seem super surprised. It seemed like they were like, yeah, she can do that, but you can't. Momonosuke constantly is impressing me. I think his growth and his character arc, it's been an amazing one, an amazing ride from Kozuki Momonosuke that we saw all the way back then to him literally growing into a man. We've constantly asked the question, why is Momonosuke's Devil Fruit a failure? It looks just like Kaido, and it can use the flame clouds, but the defensive capabilities, we're not sure. It seems like it could be possibly aiding him, but we still need clarity on that. Also, he cannot breathe fire. I mean, it could be a situation where he just doesn't know how to do it yet. I mean, it's fairly new for him as a kid trying to learn new things. So I'm sure he could be shell-shocked. He's learning as he's going. Shout out to Luffy, because if he wasn't him, Momonosuke would not be where he is right now. Literally, spiritually, mentally, that's how much Luffy has contributed to the growth of Momonosuke. Some of it is just Luffy hands off, saying, you know what, no, he can do it himself. We don't need to help him. Him flying away with Kanjuro, Luffy had the utmost confidence in him to turn it around, and Momonosuke didn't get away, but he tried, right? And so that growth and that confidence that Luffy has in him, I'm sure he wishes his father was there. So all those flashbacks, the PTSD, it's still there. So for him to go after Kaido, to conquer heights, it's him going against his being. It somewhat feels like, I thought of Lion King for whatever reason, right? Where Scar banishes Simba. Now Simba comes back and he's fighting the big bad lion, right? But the big bad lion should not be the one that's in power, right? Of course it's Lion King, so it's all lions for the most part, but he's not the one that should be in power, and he ends up winning and overthrowing him. You guys know the story of the Lion King. But that's what I was thinking about, right? Because Kaido had Momonosuke as a kid, calling him a disappointment, and then, Scar telling Simba to run away, never return, right? Anyway, I'm saying that to say that Momonosuke, again, growth, right? For him to do that, even though he was super scared, consistently overcoming his fears and being just an amazing character. I love it. I really do. Something I won't get into here in depth, but it's Luffy using his attack, how he's using it, and how that attack looks. So I want you guys to go deliberate, look at One Piece chapter 1026 and look at Luffy and his technique. Is that the same technique that we all know and love, or has he switched to something different? Again, without Luffy, Momonosuke would not be here, even close. I'm not sure if they make it past Dressrosa. Before I move on though, I just want to say that Yamato, gotta give her credit, like her holding on versus Kaido and still being upright, still standing, still walking is wildly impressive. So I recently made a video on Yamato. After you guys watch this, that video will be in the description box down below, where I'm talking about her strength and how people are saying Yamato is too strong to join the Straw Hat crew. And I, basically dispel that, saying why I think Yamato isn't too strong. So that link will be in the description box down below. So check that out after you watch this video. However, here, Jack has taken a lot. From going to Zou the first time, going to save Dofi was unsuccessful as well. Going back to Zunisha, getting clapped. Going into Wano, his fight with Ashidoji cut short. His initial fight with the Minx, didn't see. Now his final fight against Inarashi, we don't see it. That's very unfortunate, right? Because Jack, for the most part, every significant thing for him has been off screen. The thing for Jack, I like him. He's just been put in situations in which he couldn't succeed. A lot of people, King, Queen, Katakuri, Smooth, they wouldn't have succeeded as well. Those situations are overwhelming situations, but Oda has been cutting them short for a reason. Perospero, I think if there was any chapter where you give Perospero credit, it was this chapter. Other than the candy escalator, which was beautiful. This chapter, I thought he was going to be dominated by Nekomamushi. Granted, Nekomamushi was hurt, but so was Perospero. He said that Carrot and Wanda, if they went any longer, he probably would have lost. But Perospero is very strong. Surprised the heck out of me because, I didn't think he was going to win. Nekomamushi lost the moon, and he exposed that, or he exploited that opening, which basically tells me that Perospero on a regular day is stronger than Inarashi and Nekomamushi, which is astronomical because they are really strong. He's stronger than both those guys, and he's very sneaky, very conniving, but he's all about getting things done. We slept on him. He's the eldest son, and still we didn't think too much of him because of his bounty, but look at it. He is dominating right now. Everyone that goes at him, he can fend them off, and he can do a fairly good job. But with this one, it's just shout out to Perospero. There's nothing more I can say than that. He's amazing. He was amazing this chapter, at least. So I like that they gave us somewhat updates of what everyone else was doing, right? With Zoro Sanji, we saw Carrot, just telling us where people are so that at the end things aren't too crazy. We don't know where things are, but all roads point back to Luffy and his inspiring confidence for Momonosuke. That's gotten him to the point where he's going to save Onigashima. I think they should be proud. At the end, Luffy's declaration, people reacting to it, it's expected, right? In the reactions, the one that people reacted to the most was Kid, because of what Kid said, basically acknowledging Luffy and telling him that he better do it, that basically to keep going. And the Straw Hats are going to be the Straw Hats, so I absolutely love the reaction. Now, Luffy's back, about to fight Kaido, and he's saying basically, do you think you can beat me? Now, Luffy did split disguise with Kaido. That's the amazing thing that happened in this chapter, right? I did not think this was going to happen until Luffy met Shanks, because I thought that was the appropriate time for them to actually meet and to acknowledge and show that he's indeed a Yonko. Luffy is full-fledged. No one can even utter out of their mouths that, oh, Luffy's not a real... Is this satisfying for you? Does this make you feel better? Do you acknowledge it now? Again, I've hopped off my Luffy not being Yonko for a while now. I've changed my opinion on that for a while. So him doing this, you got to give it up to Luffy. The coding is coming easily. He's still using Rio like it's nothing. And I think his gears are evolving, or his techniques for these gears are evolving. He's trying a bit more things. And we're probably going to see the refined Gear 5 once everything is ready, once everything is rolled out. But it's just not time yet. I think that clash, that splitting the skies is so perfect. And it is the turning point, because if he did not do that, Perospero is winning. And who are they going after? They're coming after you. And that would be a complete detriment. Luffy's next level. That's all I can say. Luffy's next level. It's becoming more and more apparent that he's grown and he's growing. He split disguise with Kaido. That's when we know that you're upper echelon. That's how you let him know. And Luffy at this point, he's upper echelon. And we'll probably rediscover this conversation tomorrow because, man, Luffy. I could talk about Luffy all day. I love how the characters were defeated though. The Odin one sword style. I love that callback. That was a really kind of touching moment, right? That they're paying homage to Odin and doing it that way. I thought that was really cool. But shout out to Neku and Inu for their amazing finishes. Like they knocked out Jack, knocked out Perospero. We got to see who wins. That guy at the end seemed like it was Orochi peaking. I did say for a while that Momonosuke probably is going to fight with Orochi. That makes more sense. And once he sees Momo as this amazing, elegant dragon, I wonder what he's going to say, right? But yeah, we got to wait and see. Everything is interesting. Everything is developing, and I can't wait to see where it goes. But guys, give me thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BrogDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BrogD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.